Let me tell you a story. It happened to me in the middle of a sleepy Tuesday afternoon. I was walking into a small bookstore in Boston, one of those cozy, dusty places where the air smells like paper and rain, and I stopped cold in the doorway. A chill ran down my spine. I felt like I had done this exact thing before. Same store, same light, same smell. Even the man behind the counter, flipping through a tattered copy of Moby Dick, looked familiar. But I knew logically I'd never been here in my life. It was one of those strange, eerie feelings. You know it too. Déjà vu. That's a real sensation that you're reliving something you've never lived. But that's not even the weirdest part. A year later, something even stranger happened. I was in a dream floating through a surreal slow-motion hallway filled with clocks. In the dream, I opened a door and walked into a bookstore. And then days later, wide awake, I was walking into a shop in Montreal when the exact same moment from my dream played out in real life. Déjà rêvé. That haunting sense you've dreamt this before. What are these moments? Why do they feel so real? And what do they tell us about how our brains and our memories actually work? Let's rewind. For centuries, déjà vu has freaked people out. Some believed it was proof of past lives. Others thought it was a sign of prophecy or a message from another dimension. The phrase itself, déjà vu, comes from French meaning already seen. But despite the spooky vibe, science has been digging into this mystery. And what researchers have found is, well, fascinating. Déjà vu, it turns out, is not a sign that you're psychic or in the Matrix. It's a memory error, but not the kind you'd expect. You see, your brain has two different systems for dealing with memory. One helps you recall a memory. The other just helps you recognize something as familiar, even if you can't place where you know it from. Déjà vu happens when your brain recognizes something as familiar, but can't find the actual memory to go with it. It's like your brain is playing a weird trick on you, telling you that you've been somewhere before, even when you haven't. Think of it like this. You're in a new place, but your brain accidentally files it into the familiar folder. It's like mislabeling a song on your playlist. You think you've heard it, but you can't remember when or where. Some researchers call this a neural misfire. It's kind of like a glitch. Your short-term memory accidentally gets processed like a long-term memory for a second or two. And boom, déjà vu. One of the most intriguing studies on déjà vu came from a psychologist named Anne Cleary. She designed a virtual reality experiment where participants explored computer-generated scenes. Here's the twist. Some of these scenes were designed to subtly resemble places the participants had seen earlier in the simulation, but from a different angle or layout. When the second scene loaded, many of them reported strong déjà vu, even though they technically hadn't seen it before. Why their brains were picking up on the familiarity of the layout, like the shape of the hallway or placement of objects, but didn't consciously connect it with the earlier scene. This suggests that déjà vu could be your brain detecting patterns below your level of awareness and ringing a false alarm. But what about déjà rêvé, that moment when you feel like you've dreamed something before? Now, that's even stranger. Let me introduce you to a man named Paul. He was a French school teacher in his late 40s. A quiet man, never one for storytelling. But one day he told his doctor something bizarre. He said, "I keep living out my dreams. Not all dreams, just certain ones. I'll walk into a room and suddenly, boom, I remember dreaming this exact moment." His doctor sent him to a neurologist who eventually discovered something surprising. Paul had subtle epileptic activity in his temporal lobe, the part of the brain responsible for memory and dreams. It turns out that in some people, tiny bursts of activity in this region can cause both déjà vu and déjà rêvé. It's like their brains are pulling fragments from old dreams or even imagined scenarios and inserting them into the present moment. These moments feel real because the same brain regions that activate when you recall a real memory also light up when you imagine a future event or remember a dream. That means your brain doesn't always perfectly separate dreams from memories. Sometimes it just stitches them together. Here's what's wild. Your brain is a master builder of imagined realities. It takes pieces of past experiences, places, faces, emotions, and reconstructs them like Legos into new dreams. Now imagine that you dream about walking through a snowy alley with yellow lights overhead. Then one day you walk into a real alley in real life with yellow lights and snow. And your brain suddenly thinks, "I've seen this before, but not in real life, in a dream." This is déjà rêvé, already dreamed. And this happens more often than you'd think. In fact, people with vivid dream recall report déjà rêvé more frequently. It's like having a larger database of random imagery that occasionally matches the world. But there's another twist. Some researchers believe déjà vu and déjà rêvé may be related to predictive coding, a theory that your brain is constantly making guesses about what will happen next. It's like your mind is always one step ahead, simulating possibilities. So when a moment happens that closely matches a prediction your brain already made, even unconsciously, it feels eerily familiar. This might be why déjà vu often occurs in moments of high awareness, traveling to a new place, meeting new people, standing in unfamiliar rooms. Your brain is on alert, absorbing details, running simulations, and occasionally it matches one. Now, here's the most profound part. Some scientists think that déjà vu might actually serve a purpose. Rather than being a meaningless glitch, it could be your brain checking for errors, like a mental spell checker scanning reality for inconsistencies. It's a kind of quality control mechanism, alerting you that something feels off, even if you can't consciously say why. And maybe, just maybe, it's not a glitch at all. Maybe déjà vu and déjà rêvé are windows into how our brains blend memory, imagination, and perception. They remind us that time, memory, and experience are not as linear as we think. So the next time you walk into a room and feel like you've been there before, or dream of something that happens days later, pause. It's not a sign that something's broken. It's a sign that your brain is doing what it does best, stitching together the threads of your life one moment at a time into a strange and beautiful tapestry, even if sometimes it plays tricks on you. And maybe that's okay. After all, in a world of billions of people and endless patterns, maybe a little déjà vu just means you're paying attention. If you found this helpful, hit that like button, subscribe for more amazing content.